So, hello, wonderful people. Welcome to the pre-conference of the Mentor Conference 2021. And today we have an amazing session lined up for you. And we have Mr. Mangoyal from Money Hope for this particular event where we're going to be talking about Forex and finances. It's going to be a session filled with a lot of information, and I can see the viewers count going up, and I want some more viewers to come in. And guys, please like the stream, because as soon as you like the stream goes up in the algorithm and we can reach out to more and more people. So I'm asking everyone to just go like the stream, share with your friends, share on all of your social media handles, and we are going to be starting the stream right now.
So the first question was why higher education, right? Okay. So why higher education? The study and the base that we have developed in bachelor's is not really enough.
Rather than actually talking about the purpose, they actually reprint their resume there.
But yeah, you have just involved. What impact did you create? What was substantial growth? Was there any kind of a consistency in that activity?
Product manager needs to be relationship building and communication in terms of the fact that it has to be very clear what
So welcome guys to the stream, and let me introduce to the guest of the day, Mr. Mayank Goyal from Money Hope. And guys, as we all know, Mr. Mayank is the CEO and founder of Money Hope, as well as an alumni of Imperial Business School, which is itself is a great achievement. And today's session is focused on a very important issue. As an international student, or just even as a traveler, you have issues while traveling with your forex, with your finances. You're confused about the terms like the rates at which you're changing your currency, remittance, and it's a big first for people who are not regular travelers, or who are international students who don't have an exposure yet. So this session is basically to empower you and give you a lot of information and value on this particular topic. And who better than Mr. Mayank, who has created a standalone solution for this problem. And it's an privilege for us as part of the Fun Admits team to welcome Mr. Mayank. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the stream. We are glad to have you.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. So yes, so guys, we are seeing a lot of people have joined in. So please like the stream, and we are going to be starting the session now. So sir, before starting the session, I have like just one simple question. What is that one problem in terms of forex and finance which people face as an international student or a first time international travelers? And what is like the basic solution to it, and like the basic problem which everyone faces, and we don't have like much information on it yet, because a very small fraction of the population actually travel international. So if you could just give some insights on that, it would be great.
Absolutely. So, Shashwat, glad you asked that question. And a majority of the session would be revolving around what are the problems that international travelers face, and how we as Money Hub have gone ahead at fixing that. So just to kind of brief it up, because I'll be explaining it in greater detail as when the session goes on. There's a lot, domestic transfers we've all been brought up with, since the age of 18, we get our own independent bank accounts and we start, transferring money to our friends when we go out and split the bills and so on and so forth. But by the very nature of the fact that when kids travel abroad for education, they're relatively young and the exposure to the international markets is limited, and they haven't been used to this whole exercise of transferring money abroad. Who are the players? What are the charges like? Various jargons around these international money transfer, and hence I find it very daunting and very nervous at times to be remitting these money, because the amount of money involved is quite quite large, right? So all of these issues is something that results into making sometimes not the best decision in terms of the remittance that one should do, right? Having said that, this is just a gist of what I will be talking about. It's covered in much greater detail as in when we go on into the session.
Now I'm going to ask a question which is like very simple, but yet a lot of people don't know, and a lot of our students as well as friends they ask continuously, like, what is remittance? As a term, it is quite simple to people who know, but people who don't know they find it like, oh, it is some like very big term and it's very complicated.
Mhm.
So for just like in layman terms, so people are traveling first, like on a simple understanding basis, like what is remittance?
Sure.
Yeah.
So remittance is actually nothing but an account-to-account money transfer. That's what it is. So remittance, it doesn't necessarily need to have a cross-border element or an international transfer in place. When you transfer the money from your SBI bank account to my SBI bank account, that's still remittance. That's just a domestic remittance, but that's still remittance, right? Obviously, what we will be focusing on in this conversation will be more around cross-border remittances, international payments, and so on and so forth.
Yes, that's great. I think that's this is going to be a very insightful session, and all the subscribers who have tuned in right now, as you can see, the explanations are simple. What we lack is information, and what we lack is a basic guideline or basic SOPs, like how to deal with it, and who better than Mr. Mayank who can guide us through it. So, sir, I think we can start the session, and you can share the presentation, and hopefully we can bring out a lot of value in this session too for all our subscribers.
Absolutely. Let me start sharing my screen, and we can get started right away.
Absolutely.
So please let me know once you are able to share, see my screen. It's going to probably take a minute to load up. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, it's
Okay,
visible.
great.
We can go ahead.
Yeah, well, great. Thanks a lot again, Shashwat, for having me, and everybody who's listening in. Thanks for giving us your valuable time on a Friday evening. My name is Mayank Goyal, and I'm the founder of Hop Financial Solutions. We are a cross-border, full-stack neo-banking platform which provides Indians the ability to send, spend, and collect seamlessly and effortlessly globally. Now, I can imagine these are a lot of big jargons for you to take in. So I will try to break it down in a simpler language. What we're trying to do at MoneyHop is provide a platform which makes money movement from India to the world in various capacities seamless and effortless, right? Now, if we just take a moment to understand and absorb what are the venues or what are the channels for which the money movement happens, we broadly categorize that into three big umbrellas. We call it send, spend, and collect. Now, by the very nature of the word send, you're transferring the money from one Indian bank account to another foreign bank account. And the purposes are such a foreign education fees payment. We have maintenance, which is when you travel abroad as a student, your parents might send you money for your living expenses. That could be deposited in a foreign bank account or investment in foreign equities. We have about $18 billion that gets moved for these purposes, and is primarily done through wire transfer, which is an account-to-account transfer. And there are local agents who facilitate that. There are 81 banks and 82 banks which also do that. Now, the different category around which this happens is spend, which is either a corporate travel or a leisure travel or an education travel. So when you're traveling abroad, you exchange the currency from INR to pound to euro to GBP, and then you take it either as a cash or a debit card or a forex card, and you use these mechanisms to spend for your travel abroad. This market is about $12 billion, quite decent numbers, and there are banks who provide these forex cards. There are several grey market providers who give you cash. There are also airport kiosks where you can pick up some currencies. And the last category is about 50 million Indian MSMEs who export their goods and services. So, for example, let's say you're a UK resident, want to buy Ayurvedic products from Kerala, right? This Indian seller needs to collect money from these foreign buyer, which is done through an inward remittance, and there are several people who kind of provide these services as well. So broadly speaking, these are the three corridors for which the money movement happens from India outbound, and we find several issues and several problems pertaining to each and every of these channels, which I will be addressing in due course, and the solutions we have kind of found around that. But before we get started with that, I just wanted to kind of take a moment and run you through my own personal journey, which has been very similar to what you guys must be going through. There's a level of excitement, there's a level of nervousness, there's a hope of opportunity, which all of you guys must be experiencing, which is very thrilling. I went through the same process when I traveled abroad, and I can totally relate to those feelings, right? So so just to give you a little bit about background of myself, I come from a small town up north called Dehradun. I did my bachelor's from here in Bangalore, from PESIT. I did my telecom engineering. And towards the end of that engineering period, I wasn't really sure what to do. I was obviously was getting a few decent IT jobs, but having spoken to my mentors and my well-wishers, I found out that was not an area where I wanted to pursue my career. And after a deep brainstorming session, found out that finance was a deep area of interest for me. So at the very last moment, I started in probably the 7th semester. Even after the 7th semester, I started scratching surfaces to trying to find out which colleges could I get admission into, if the applications were still open, and so on and so forth. And was fortunate enough to land a seat as a master's in financial engineering at Imperial College London. It was a wonderful experience being there, interacting with people of different countries, getting educated in finance by top class professors, building friends for life, enjoying that culture, and so on and so forth. And I did my CFA after that, and got landed up a job as an investment banker at Merrill Lynch. I was a structured derivative trader there and a quantitative portfolio manager, handling about $1 billion of asset for various hedge funds and pension funds. So this was primarily at the stock market investing side of things. I did that for 7-8 years, and then I moved to Jefferies, which is a New York-based boutique investment bank, where I did low latency, high frequency electronic trading. Very interesting position as well. Built a lot of algorithms which were autonomous in nature and traded up to $100 million worth of assets, which is about 750 crore rupees in a microsecond. So we would build and deploy algorithms or co-located servers at NYSE and NASDAQ stock exchange, and these algos had the ability to trade up to $100 million without any human intervention. So enjoyed that also quite a bit, but was always very interested in India as a market, was always very interested in doing something in the fintech space. So decided to launch MoneyHub. What we do at MoneyHub is something I'll be covering in a moment. But I wanted to kind of take this moment and share some of the experiences that I had as a student, what the decisions I took good, the bad decisions I took, and how you could potentially find some value through the experience I've had, right? So just to kind of talk a little bit about how do you go about selecting the country and the college you want to study in is an important element, right? And unfortunately, when I graduated, which was about 10 years ago, we didn't have institutions like Foreign Admit to help you with that process, select the right colleges. So we had to do predominantly all of these matrices and understanding the market on our own. So one of the important things I figured out to look out for is a return on investment, right? So trying to figure out how much will it cost me as college fees, how much is it going to cost me to live in a certain city, and what kind of job will I get after that, right? Because a lot of you guys might have taken loans to go abroad, so it becomes important to kind of understand your finances well, understand how long, what is the total interest you would be paying, how long will it take for you to pay back the interest, and so on and so forth, right? Very important to do this exercise with your friends, family, parents, and understand how those numbers would look like. One other important element that nobody really talks about, which I found quite intriguing, was understanding whether the value system that you have and the post-college lifestyle that you would like to pursue is something that the country you're going to offers, right? So, for example, US has a very different culture towards life, different value system that they work with, which is very different to what Europe has to offer, right? So I was very clear that my value system was much more aligned to Europe, and hence I chose London as a market to be able to London as a city, and UK as a country where I would want to live after my graduation. So that's something that's important to look out for. And feel free to always reach out to alumni of the potential college that you want to go to understand the opportunities and the challenges that they went through while choosing the college, finding a job, what kind of jobs they end up getting, and so on and so forth. So this is going to make the decision also slightly easier on you. Coming back to finances a bit and relating it back to return on investment, it's important for you to also understand if there's any minimum working hours that are allotted to you as international students, which you could potentially utilize to find a part-time job and sustain yourself as a student for the course of 3 years if you're going for a bachelor's, or a few years if you're going for a master's. Some of the things to look out for when you select your college and country, right? Just a few other things I wanted to add is that as soon as you get the admissions done, it's important that you sort out your paperwork relatively quickly. And especially in these pandemic times, it can take substantially more time than it is ideal. So things like getting cash forms ready, getting your visa paperwork sorted, getting your potentially tickets in line is something that you need to do very quickly, and something you should be on top of, right? Start looking for accommodation much early on. There are several Facebook groups. People formulate who are potential applicants for a certain college, and you can find friends on those groups. And sometimes you can even connect with them even before departing India, so that you have somebody to rely on as soon as you land in a different country. Right? So something to think about very deeply. Also, there will be a culture shock as soon as you land in a foreign country, but there will also be an element of surprise with respect to finances, right? For example, a bus ride in London might cost you £2, right? And that's 200 rupees. So if you start converting every pound that you spend, you will drive yourself crazy, right? You will. So you'll have to kind of really refrain from doing so, and making sure that you understand how things work there. How much are you budgeting, right? So formulate a detailed plan around it, right? What is my rent going to be like? What is my transport expenses are going to be like? What is my stationery expenses, my food expenses? All of that stuff you'll have to list down and form a solid budget and strictly abide by it, so that you don't overshoot into your budget as and when you land there, right? Some things that you have to keep in mind. Now, things that you need to do as soon as you reach, and this is just from my personal experiences and might vary from person to person, but very important to get your bank account sorted quite quickly, because you might not have a permanent address there, and a lot of organizations or a lot of banking institutions want you to have a permanent address before they issue your bank account and a card. Some campuses have on-campus bank branches that can help, but get it sorted within the first week of you arriving there. Make sure that you start your job hunt early, right? This is one of the pitfalls that I fell into and was so concentrated in studies that I started my job hunt late, which is not advisable. So as soon as you land, you kind of need to start getting yourself acquainted with the ecosystem and start applying for part-time jobs and also full-time jobs, where if you're in a master's course, which is only going to last a year, for example, in London, right? Very important to get the student card done within the first week of arrival, and some of the colleges facilitate that as a part of the orientation program. And this is particularly important because you are able to get lots of discounts in various museums for transports and so on and so forth if you have that student card. So you save a bunch of money if you have that student card handy. So something that you should always get done ASAP. Getting your documentation ready is very important. We have a PAN card in India. We have national insurance number in the UK. You have a social security number in the US, and you need to get all of these elements in place ASAP, because you're not going to be, even if you find a part-time job, nobody will be able to give you a part-time job if you don't have these documentations in place. So something important for you to look out for. the part-time job opportunities, I've always felt that it's important to find it closer to university or home, which could be research assistant jobs, which could be libraries, which could be, you have these cafes in the on campus that you can look out for job opportunities, so that you don't have to spend a lot of time traveling, and hence you can use that time more effectively. Right. You can also get certain jobs as Indian student union. There's several Indian student unions that each of the colleges have. There's a Hindu society, there's a Punjabi society, there's various other societies that you'll find, and they'll have some job openings as well, and you can kind of volunteer for that. One good thing that has happened because of pandemic is that you can find a lot of job opportunities as a freelancing agent, be it a website designer or a content writer or part-time digital marketeer, that you can do from the comfort of your home wherever you're living, right? So those opportunities you should certainly kind of look out for and adhere to. Now, in terms of the job prospect, one thing that I have found very interesting and attractive is to join a charity organization of a cause that you can relate to. For example, I instantly became a part of Pratham, which is an Indian charity which provides finances to underprivileged kids. And what this did is that it helped me network quite effectively. There were prominent industry leaders in finance, which were the part of the committee there, which I eventually became a part of. And this helped me network quite a bit. I could talk to them, understand what finance meant, what kind of jobs could I get, and they helped me get a few interviews in place as well. So networking is extremely important. Be on top of that. Talk to as many people as possible, and reach out to people, right? Reach out to the Indian diaspora there, and they're all looking to give back because they have undergone the same experiences. So feel free to kind of ask them if you could go near their office and buy them a coffee, right? All of this is very acceptable in the Western economy, Western societies, and something that you should certainly use to make sure that you're on top of these things. Now, some of the common pitfalls to avoid is that, like most of us, I was very focused on academics, and I think I ignored my social life a bit, right? So without going wild, I think it's important to kind of socialize a bit more, because that not only increases your chances of getting a job, but that also gives you some sense of mind, and you're able to absorb the culture of that country a bit more. A lot of people stick around, and a lot of Indians want to live with each other, and that's absolutely fine. I kind of took a slightly different approach, because one of the reasons I traveled abroad was because I wanted to kind of experience different cultures. So I decided to stay with a few guys from different countries, one French person and one Swedish girl, and this kind of helped me understand the culture a bit more. And whenever I went to interviews, I could do the small talk, and really helped me network a bit better. And those guys have become friends for life, right? So certainly something I would advise to. Don't hesitate to ask for help, right? People are there to help you, and you're not going to know the maximum they're going to say is no, right? So it's nothing that you will lose by asking for help. So certainly do that better. I think a lot of social etiquettes are important, right? In London, it's very unpolite to ask for something without saying please, and if you don't say thank you. So those are some of the things that you need to become adaptable to and understand better and communicate better, right? Now, this is not necessarily related to finance, but I just wanted to take this opportunity to highlight some of the things that you should do, which might help you manage your finances better and let you lead a better life once you end up going abroad, right? So something that I hope you drew some value out of. Now, wanted to kind of shift gears and refocus on why we started Hop and how it can potentially help you, right? So one thing to kind of understand here is the fact that when I was living in London, I had a good job. I was doing well. I was up for a promotion. But one thing I wanted to do is that I wanted to start something on my own. I wanted to do it in India, and I wanted to work on a problem that I could relate to better, right? And I remember explicitly that I had taken a loan at 10% from a high street private bank in India, and I was paying 10-11% in interest, right? And I didn't know any better. I didn't know how to remit money outside, as Shashwat initially asked me. I didn't know what remittance was. I didn't know what Swift code was. I don't know what GST meant at that point in time, and so on and so forth. So I just asked the bank, who was providing the loan to me, to remit the money on my behalf abroad. And it so happens that only later, when I started getting to know a little bit of finance and I started working in a bank, did I realize that the bank was charging me close to 4-5% in just the remittance fee. So not only was I giving them 10-11% as a interest on the loan that I had taken, I was putting them 4-5% in transaction fees. So I was giving them in totality 15%, which is a obnoxiously very high amount of money in interest in transaction. So this notion stuck with me for a very long time, and I saw this come up and up again every time I had my friends and family visit me in India. So my parents, every time they came, they carried a bunch of 50-pound notes. And when I inquired them, I invariably found out that they had spent 4-5% above the markup, right? Above the rate that was prevalent in the market. And this became a constant phenomena. If my sisters came, my friends came, they underwent the same experience. Finally, in the summer of 2019, I'd gone back to Dehradun for a summer vacation, and I wanted to remit some money from India abroad. And I went to my local high street branch, where I had a branch for the last 12 years at that point in time. And these guys had me come in for 5 days in a row, asked me for all sorts of paperwork. And at the end of those 5 days, neither did the money get remitted, but I was rather left disgruntled with a terrible user experience. And this was particularly surprising to me, because I'd seen the rise of challenger banks or new age banks in London, which provided a seamless and an effortless banking experience. So I was really intrigued, I wanted to find out whether this was a one-off experience or whether there was a systemic problem within the cross-border banking space in India. So I spoke to about 200 odd students of various demographics and various geographical locations in India, and I very quickly understood that the banking system hadn't kept up to date with the evolving needs of an average 29-year-old Indian millennial. You guys want to travel the world, you want to live in different parts across the globe, you want to be global citizens, you want more stamps on your passport, but the banking system hadn't really kept up with the evolving needs. So we thought to ourselves, how can we provide a rather systemic solution to that? What are the problems that we are trying to solve, right? So we figured out that the way the foreign exchange remittance and payments was happening was largely through these decade-old banking system, which had legacy technology, right? They asked you to come in person with extensive paperwork. There was a very poor user experience, and it lacked trust, because the charges were hidden. You only found out what you were paying ex post facto when they'd already charged you, like how I experienced it when I was remitting it through my bank. There was a lack of awareness also. People weren't very familiar with the terminologies like Swift code or ACH code or markups or TCS and all of this stuff, and these jargons left them so demotivated that they just gave the bank whatever money the bank asked for, and they said, just remit the money on my behalf, right? And also the technology infrastructure was very poor at banks, right? That resulted into the Indian consumer and businesses having a global outlook. These students want to travel the world. They're going abroad for education, but their requirements are not being met because of just a pure play lack of innovativeness within the banking system. So we thought to ourselves, we need to provide a solution which is extremely effortless and painless. We thought to ourselves, UPI had really transformed the domestic payments methods, but the cross-border banking was still stuck in a rut, and it was still archaic. And we then thought to ourselves, how can we provide a solution to this problem? And the answer was MoneyHop. That is how MoneyHop was born. We're a London-registered entity with a Indian subsidiary. Our offices are both in London and Bangalore. We are an RBI-regulated entity, entirely foolproof and secure. And what we do is that we provide three predominant services. The primary service, as you can see in the center of the screen, is called Hop Remit, which is an instant paperless, and a cost-effective global remittance services for sending your money abroad for college fees or your maintenance money, which you might need over the course of the next 3 years when you're living there as your living expenses. The entire process is digital. You log on to our website, you digitally onboard yourself by submitting 2 documents, your Aadhaar and your PAN. You add your beneficiary details, which is the college bank account. You transfer the money using a net banking or debit card or doing an NEFT transfer using online banking, and boom, within 3 to 5 minutes, the money is on its way to your respected beneficiary, right? How cool is that, right? You don't have to stand in lines anymore. You don't have to haggle for every 5-10 paisa with a bank branch. And when you are abroad, you don't have to. You can be sitting there in Virginia or in London or in New York, and you can do the remittance yourself. Once you are onboarded, the platform is open. You can just literally log on, select the rate, select the amount you want to transfer, and ask your father maybe to make an EFT payment, and everything is done on your behalf, right? So very cool. We've done really well. We've sent money for over 3,000-4,000 students now, and we're constantly kind of going at a very good pace. One other service that we've kind of launched is what we call Hop App and a card, right? So unlike a traditional FX card, which which you can only use abroad, what we've done is that we've built an application, and we've also built a foreign currency card, which can be both used in India and abroad. So what typically happens is that when you're in India, you use one particular card. When you travel abroad, you use another card. And this FX card doesn't have an app for you to track your balances. You can't exchange the currency from INR to USD or USD to GBP instantly. And the markups are really high. So on our app, we provide you one single account, and you can do whatever you want with it, right? So you can log on to the application, click a few buttons, and the currency exchange will happen from INR to GBP or GBP to USD instantly, right? So really cool product, and would love for you guys to check it out and see what you have to say about that, right? This is how the platform looks. The Send platform, as you can see in the middle screen, you just log onto the website, submit your documents, and the transaction is going to be on its way, right? From the card perspective, this is how the application looks. As you can see, you have a primary account, which is a INR account. You have pounds, euro, GBP, Australian dollars, whichever currency you require. Not only you get a physical card, but you also get a virtual card, and it has all the card control features. You can lock the card if you lose it. You can block the PIN. You can set a daily limit for yourself, and you can just choose any currency pair of your choosing. Click a few buttons, and the currency exchange happens, right? This is also really advantageous for your parents because they can just do a local NEFT transfer, and you can exchange the currency as and when you please, no matter where you are across the globe, right? So really cool product, we feel. So I'm not going to take any much of your time, and I'll be happy to take any further questions that you might have. But glad you hopefully rather you enjoyed the session. Our website is www.moneyhub.co. So feel free to log in and check out our website. The remittance service is available on www.moneyhub.co/send. You can also ring us on 6364-001-001. So Shashwat, maybe you can put that number on the chat. It's 6364-001-001. And I'm going to stop here and take any questions that you guys might have.
Thank you. So that was a wonderful presentation. And actually, we have questions coming in our chat. The chat has been super active. And okay. So there are a few questions on just studying abroad. As you said, you are a student of Imperial Business School. So one of the students just asked how to select the part-time job which is related to your course. I mean, it's not related to the topic, but still.
Absolutely, no, that's totally fine, and I'm here to help in whichever way I can. So see, I would certainly think that the way the market is going at this point in time, and that's a very good question, right? So if you do a part-time job related to your field, then the employability probability also increases, right? So I would truly suggest that offer your services for free, right? A lot of smaller institutions would love to have somebody do the groundwork for a lot of things. Like, for example, if you're working in finance, try to see if you can become a teller at a bank, right? maybe your own college bank branch, right? Try to see if you are good at spreadsheets, then can you ask a asset manager just to do some random stuff for him, right? Not only will you get the exposure, you'll be able to speak that language, you will be in that environment. So when you interview for a full-time job, you have a lot more relevant skills, right? And one other thing you can do is that, as I'm saying, you can start looking for freelancing opportunities in whichever field you are. I think that is a game changer for a lot of people. You can just sit in the comfort of your home, do the work in the time of your choosing, still have relevant experience pertaining to the field that you're looking at.
Exactly. And we have one more question from one of our subscribers, the Saw3, and he is asking, does refinancing has any correlation with Forex?
I like some more clarification on this. Refinancing of a loan, you mean? Refinancing of the student loan?
Yes. I mean, yeah, that would be that. Yeah. Refinancing of the
Right.
student loan.
So these are two independent activities, right? So taking a loan is the first leg of the process. And then if you take the loan from an Indian bank, then you need to still remit the money from India to the college of your choosing, right? So these are two independent activities. Of course, what you need to account for the fact is how much does FX charge you, and how much does the financing cost of the interests are, and what is your total outbound cost pertaining to any transaction that you're doing. I hope that answers the question. If not, feel free to kind of elaborate on the question more.
Yes, so all the subscribers out there who are tuning in, you can put your questions right now. You can also give more pointers or descriptions if you need more clarifications. Just one question, one general question which I have in my mind, that is, as you've mentioned, sir, that when the first time you did your first forex transfer, it was a 5-day process, and at the end of that, it was full of hassle, and still, you didn't know there were a lot of hidden charges and everything. Now we are simplifying the process through a app. So a basic question is, how secure is this to do remittance like on an international basis through an app? What is the security level?
Sure. So see, that's a good question, and the security needs to be multifold, right? Security is the paramount pillar of any stable financial institution. And me having worked in investment banks handling $1 billion, I'm very much aware of it, and I respect that a lot, right? So we have made sure in our organization that security is not just a technological level of security. There is legal security, there is compliance security, and all sorts of securities that we can think of, right? So from our technological perspective, we are 250-bit encrypted data at transit, and at rest. We are an RBI regulated entity, right? So every transaction that we do is regulated by the RBI, and then we kind of make sure that we abide by all rules and regulations. We just try to use technology to better your user experience and do a lot of processes on your behalf, right? And we've managed to achieve really good coverage on the back of that. So if you were to do the remittance on Monday morning on our platform, the money would reach the institution by Monday evening, right? And we are further trying to, so it's gone down from 5 days to almost a day, and we are also already working on bringing it down to 10 minutes. Right, so as soon as you do a transfer, before your NEFT can hit your father's account, your money will be in your college's account. So that's what we're working towards.
Yes, there is one more question from Sautri. Can MoneyHop help in sending money to family when one starts earning after graduation? And I would also like to know if there are any tax implications.
Sure, absolutely. So no, we are a London registered entity, so we can do both inbound, outbound remittance, which is sending money from India abroad, or once you start earning, the money from abroad can also be sent back to your parents or family in India, right? Or for that matter, paying back the education loan can also be done. Now, there aren't any tax implications pertaining to this, because what we call tax at source, right? So if you start earning abroad, you'll be paying the tax to in the jurisdiction that you live, right? So if you're living in the US, your tax will be deducted by the employer and only credited to your bank account. So when you're sending money back home, it's already taxed in a foreign jurisdiction. So you don't pay any taxes pertaining to that whatsoever. Your tax is deducted, as we call, at source.
Thank you so much, sir. And there is the next question. It's coming from Sujay, and that is, are you doing business remittance? I mean, MoneyHop is doing business remittance. If you're doing, how are you solving the 15 CBCA process?
We're not doing business remittance at this point in time. Our primary focus and I guess our presence here on this platform will allude to the fact we are primarily solving this for education remittances. We are looking into some other business remittances use case, which is still under wraps, and we should be able to disclose it to the market relatively soon.
Yes. Uh, Sir, also as you mentioned before that there are a lot of these hidden charges left, and when we are doing remittance through MoneyHop, as we say, the charges are like pretty less. So, just wanted to know like what are these charges which people can skip on and people don't know. And I mean, yes, MoneyHop is helping a lot of people out there in this process, but just to educate the audience, like what are these charges which can be skipped, and to get like to do the remittances like with more ease. uh,
Sure, sure. So you're absolutely right. There's a lot of terminologies that are used in the foreign remittances, people which are largely unaware about, and and a lot of guys skim a lot of money from unfortunately uninformed users, and they're largely people who've not traveled abroad or parents who don't have aware, which we find very disturbing. So we, as one of the core pillars of the foundation of a company, have made sure that none of the charges are going to be hidden. Everything that we charge whatsoever will be put up front. To give you an idea, what tends to happen is there's something called an IBR, which is what we call interbank rate. What that means is that if I was to go and buy $1 in the market, how much will I be paying, or rather, what a bank will be paying? So if ICICI Bank wants to buy $1, what is that they'll end up paying? So they'll end up paying what we call interbank rate, right? That is the base price of anything, right? On top of that, service provider might charge you 1 to 2 rupees. And then they'll charge you a convenience fee, then they'll charge you a GST, they'll charge you a TCS. Now, some of these fees are justifiable because they are implied by the government. So TCS, something we can't avoid. TCS is a fees that the government has put in place, which is above $10,000 transacted. If you transact $11,000, so on that extra $1,000, you have to pay a TCS fees, which goes to the government. That is reclaimable during your filing return. So if your parents are paying on your behalf, they will be able to claim it back from the government at the end of the year, right? GST is what is applicable on the service fees that the banks charge. There's another charge called Nostro charge, which is when the money is sent from India to a foreign bank, then the foreign bank moves the money to your college's account. Is another charge there, right? Nikhil, if you're there here with us, Nikhil Adiga, it might be worthwhile you pasting the link of the blog that we've written, which talks about all of these charges. With perhaps Shashwat can share with the rest of the crowd, for them to get a deeper understanding of each of these terminologies, and how these guys can familiarize themselves with these process and be well informed when they take the decision about which partner they choose to remit money abroad.
Absolutely, we'll share with that, of course, with all of our subscribers, because that will give them knowledge about it and will give value to it. There's one more question which is related to forex and traveling, a very generalized question that we have seen these documentaries, heard a lot of stories about this gray market where people are changing their forex in foreign countries at higher rates when they don't have any other sources, and yeah, the localists kind of try to take advantage of the foreigners. So yeah, an app like MoneyHop is a breakthrough which gives people this power where can do that at their fingertips. But I'd just like to know, how that gray market functions, and as if a student it's stranded at some place, and suppose there's and to reach to a network related place or somewhere it needs time, how to save. I know it's not entirely related to MoneyHop, but it's a very big generalized problem which people don't talk about. So how to save yourself from those frauds, of people who are trying to take advantage of you, and how to be safe from the gray market stuff, and exchange at like a good rate for you.
Sure. So I think one of the primary, I think gray market should be avoided at any cost. Not only are they not legal, they can also land you into bigger governmental problems. Money laundering is something that every government takes very, very seriously, because we don't know what the origination of those funds are and for what purpose have they been used prior to being handed over to you, right? And what tends to happen is whenever there is any criminal activity involved, they will track the source of the fund till when it is used. So very important to kind of avoid these markets. I think kind of always, I think what is happening in the world is that the money is moving digital, right? Which is a great thing because the traceability of the funds is higher, and the probability of you losing the money, unless of course there's a cybersecurity threat, is also lower, right? So being on top of, so if you go to London and if you were to kind of pull out, I remember once when my parents had come from Dehradun and they had bought a bunch of 50-pound notes, and we went to High Street branch and we wanted to buy something. The guy who was a Brit, 28-year-old, had never seen a 50-pound note in his life, so he had to call his manager and get it validated to say that, okay, is this even original or not, right? So my point is that the Western economy is certainly moving digital, and so are we here in India, right? I mean, if you can look at the UPI transactions, they have gone through the roof. So I think the governments are also moving in the direction where the dependency on the cash is less, and we're moving towards a cashless society. And we, as the youth of today, we as people who are traveling abroad for education and so on and so forth, should certainly adopt to that and prevent the usage of currency as large as possible. Because not only will you prevent yourself to any frauds, you're also doing something better for the environment and moving towards a presence-less, paperless, and a cashless economy.
So coming to now digital money and forex, again just breaking it down for, in layman terms, how is it closely or distantly related to cryptocurrency? Even cryptocurrency is one of these ways where we digitally handle the currency. So we are remitting our money through an app such as MoneyHop, and there is also a way where people are transferring their money through cryptocurrency. Yeah, it's still in gray zone. Some places it is legalized, some places it's not. But how closely are these trades related, or this remittance market is completely different from the crypto market, going towards the future?
Sure. Remittance is a service. Crypto or digital currency is a currency. So you can invest in crypto, you can transact using crypto, you can do a payment using crypto, and you can do all of these services using cash or digital money, right? So the channels of comparison are digital money and crypto, not remittance in crypto. Just to make that point clear, right? Now let's say somebody earns 20 lakh rupees in India, right? Over the course of 4 years, does he actually physically get that money handed? No, right? The money moves from the company's bank account to his personal bank account. Then he uses his credit card to buy a Nike pair of shoes. The money goes from his HDFC bank account to maybe an ICICI bank account that Nike has. This guy might, let's say, send his kid abroad for study. So now the money is going to move from his HDFC bank account to Virginia Tech's bank account, which could be from Bank of America. So the money is just moving from a server to another server, right? The money is already digital. The money becomes physical when you draw the currency out of an ATM wallet, right? Other than that, it's all digital. However, this money is regulated by a central body, which is the Reserve Bank of India in India, SEC in the UK, FCA or Financial Control Authority in the UK, and SEC in the US, and so on and so forth, right? Now, they know at any given point in time how many dollars are printed. Now, when we say printed, earlier it used to be physical cash being printed. Now it's somebody typing on the computer and saying press, and there's a $1 trillion in the economy flooded, right? So it could. So point I'm trying to make is that the reserve banks are always aware of the amount of dollars of their currency which is floated in the market. So it's centrally regulated. In the crypto markets, it's decentralized by the very structure of it, right? Which is to say that a blockchain framework is used using smart contracts to be able to track, and this is a topic in itself, but to be able to track, not have a single authority governing anything, and hence the money movement can be more swifter and so on and so forth. Now, obviously, the governments don't like it because they don't have any control over it. And if you want to rule a nation, you need to be able to control a few things: currency, defense, and few other things that we talk about in economics, right? So very different. Really, time will tell how crypto evolves and what the central bodies have to say about it. We're seeing a lot of digital currencies being floated, or sorry, cryptocurrencies being floated by the central government. China is working towards that. So we'll see how it evolves, but slightly still under the shadows to comment on that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And now, whatever discussed, we turn out to sum it up. I think the first thing which everyone should need to know that is stay away from the gray market. It's not legal. Stay away from it. Secondly, remittance is not very complicated as we think it is. All we need is a bit of education, and players like Money Hop coming into the market, bringing a service and educating the people in this domain will obviously make you more aware about it, and people can learn more about it. So yes, all the subscribers who are tuning in, you can ask as many questions as you can. We are ready to take up. It's a wonderful opportunity for you. The man himself, Mr. Mayank Goyal, is answering the question. He's the founder of Money Hop, and what we are seeing is really a revolution. Like, people who have traveled abroad and have faced these issues, now that they're hearing all this, they would find like this is some sort of magic or something. When they have actually, yeah, when they've actually faced all these issues earlier while they were traveling, and suddenly now there's an app doing everything within 3 to 5 minutes. It's safe, it's regulated. Which currencies you want. You can convert between multiple currencies. So constant traveling between different countries becomes much easier. Having just a single point of contact in your bank account. So that's actually quite amazing. Okay. We have question coming in, and now there's a question from Sambhav Agarwal. So how much time approximately is required to receive the money sent by someone abroad? Sorry, PayPal takes about 2 days for the money to come in my account. So yeah,
Are we talking about inbound remittance or outbound remittance?
I think we can discuss about both. What he means is, I guess, inbound, because he has mentioned that PayPal takes 2 days for the money to come in my bank account. So yeah, he's talking about inbound, but we can discuss both inbound and outbound.
Yeah, so using our platform, you can the money will reach the foreign currency, foreign bank account the very same day, till the time it's done within the working hours of the organization. Otherwise, it's going to be T+1 business day, right? Inbound remittance is again the same. We're working towards making inbound remittance instant. We're working towards bringing it down to 20 seconds. So as soon as you can send the money to me in the UK, let's say, I will remit it back to your bank account in India almost instantly.
That's great. That's great. Actually, being faster than an already established service already, and going towards like being even more faster. That's actually a great step towards future. So, guys, we have sent the link. We have shared the links in the YouTube. You can see in the comments, in the description, in the live chat. We have sent the links to the blog where you can learn about how to send money abroad via Money Hop. And we hope that you read through the article, get educated about it, and that's I'm repeating this again and again. I'm not on loop, and I'm saying it again and again. Be educated about it, because as Mr. Mayank sir has explained us, like, there are a lot of these jargons are not complex. We are just unaware of some of the things, but now that we are in the digital medium, it's very easy to learn about this. And you should be controlling your finances, and you should know how your money is going. You should know what are the charges, and you should not be completely be dependent on secondary people. There shouldn't be many steps in between while you are handling your own money. And I think that's great, and Money Hop is empowering you with it. and we're glad to have partnered with them in this mentor conference for Invest, because this is an issue which is faced by a lot of students, any not just students but also travelers, the first time travelers, and this is going to be a game changer, as we feel in the near future. So yes, we are still going in, and yes, the people are coming in to the live. We're ready to take even more questions. So guys, please flood with your questions. We're here to answer. Yeah. So sir, going forward, right? Going forward, I mean, it's not a question directed at Forex, but about Money Hop. So, what is your vision going forward with Money Hop, and what do you wish to achieve with this? Because there's a slight interest in it for us as well. The more you develop and achieve it, it becomes more easier for students like us to handle this. So, what is your vision in
I
the
mean,
future?
I like to kind of be able to build a platform where money is truly without borders, right? I feel that that is the need of the hour. As I said, people are becoming more and more kind of global, and the money should be without jurisdictions, right? You should be able to, literally exchange currencies. On the go, you should be able to spend in whichever currency you want. You should be able to pay anybody in the world almost instantly, right? So we would like to become India's first company to be able to provide global payments and remittance instant services to the world, right? Beginning with India and then globally. That's what I would like to achieve at MoneyHub.
Yes, yes. And people who have asked in the question mentioned about other services, PayPal, and all. I think, guys, I should know, like, it's better that an Indian player is coming into it. Just to think about it, an Indian player.
Also, bear in mind, PayPal is a 25-year-old company, so they're very, very old. Right?
Exactly, exactly.
And with every decade, you'll see a revolution in how things are addressed.
Yes. So basically, it's a service which is made for people, thinking about helping people, and like that's the core principle behind it, right? To help the travelers, to make it easy for them, and the whole principle behind it makes it much more accessible and much more, like close to the customer, as you can say. Guys, I'm just going a bit out of the line. Sir is also an alumni from Imperial Business School. So if you have questions regarding that as well, like doing management and fun, like he would be the perfect guide for you. So you can ask, sir. I think it's fine if you can do one or two questions in that
Sure.
domain as well. Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah. So if you have any more questions in that domain as well, we would be happy to take you. We're happy to take the question. So generally, so just asking, as a lot of students of foreign admits, they are dreaming of Imperial Business School and going there. So I'd just like to know, what was your journey like? I know you mentioned in the brief in the presentation, but also, what is the journey like? How did it change yourself? What was the evolution you faced, like being educated at one of the premier B schools of the world, and how did that change you as a person?
Yeah. See, I think we need to look at the whole experience of studying abroad a bit more holistically, right? It can't be a means to an end. It can't be that I'm only going there to get an education and on good money, right? I think that's a very wrong way to be looking at that. Studying abroad in the right way can transform your life. As I said, one of my two best friends in the world is one is Russian and one is Swedish, right? And I made those relationships studying there. I think we need to be open to cultural changes. I think we need to be adaptable. We need to be soaking in culture, right? And that's what makes you a holistic person. That's what makes you a global person. Living abroad doesn't necessarily make you a global person, right? Being able to attune yourself to various cultures and adopt and build life around that is what makes you a global citizen, right? So I would say that it's been very transformative. I've met the smartest of the people there. I've interacted with some of the most brilliant people. The guys I worked with, eventually having graduated from Imperial, was a PhD student of Stephen Hawking, who did his PhD in cosmology under Stephen Hawking, right? So these are the kind of people you come across, once you play your cards well, right? So important to kind of look at it holistically, have a social life, study well. Unlike India, the whole concentration around the education is not there. It has to be a work-life harmony, wherein you enjoy your surroundings, soak in the culture, and truly become a global citizen.
I mean, we have the quote for the day, which sir is like, just studying abroad does not mean you're a global citizen. You got to evolve yourself. I mean, that's a great takeaway from this session. And now we have reached towards the ending phases of the session, and we're glad to have you, sir. And thank you so much. Like, I can't thank you enough. You coming in directly as the founder of Money Hop, bringing in the vision, bringing in the technology, and also sharing this directly with the students makes it much more enjoyable and makes it more knowledgeable for our viewers and subscribers and the students who are part of our Admins family. I mean, it was great to have you. I mean, you'd like to add something? I mean, I'm just completely overwhelmed by your presence right now. So
Well, thanks for that, Shashwat. It was lovely having here. The last few words I'd like to say is that make sure that you have a good time. Make sure that you make friends. Make sure that you enjoy your culture. Make sure you also not deviate too much from your studies. And this element of as I previously said, and mixed emotions, which is nervousness and excitement, is very relatable to everybody and anybody who travels abroad. It can be overwhelming at times. So stick around with each other and make the most of it. Good luck to everybody who joined in today as well.
Thank you so much, sir. And lastly, I'd like to thank you to all our subscribers and all our viewers who stick with us throughout the complete session. It feels good when we realize that we are changing lives and we are bringing value to the lives of people. So yes, and also tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we are having our mentor conference. The main mentor conference is going to start at 11. So I hope everyone is aware of that, and we hope to see every one of you soon, so that we can get more value out of the sessions. So yes, I think with that we can sign off. And thank you so much, sir. Again,
Yes.
from the behalf of Foreign Admins family, and signing off. And yes, that's how we're gonna end the stream. So see you everyone tomorrow at the mentor conference. We're starting at 11.
Thank you. Have a good one. Good evening.
Visit us today. Visit us today.